everyone. So I had a request to show what I have in my WIP tote as far as WIPs. I had mentioned in a prior video that I do change out my WIP basket about 4 times a year. And someone had asked, well, what do you have in there for WIPs? Are they seasonal? Or how do you choose what to put in your WIP bag? And can we see them? So sure. So as far as seasonally, they kind of are. I usually will be, I think I misspoke in a video. I said I'm 1 season behind, but what I meant was I'm 1 season ahead. So in August, I will usually put in all of my fall stitching. Now, sometimes there are things that I had not finished last year. Sometimes they're brand new things. So it just sort of depends. The first thing I always keep in my WIP tote is my cross stitch journal. I love this. It's a really important tool for me because I am not, I think they call it a monogamous stitcher, where I just stitch one thing all the way through. I don't do that. I sort of have a lot of things going, and it's not as important to me as if I finish them or not. So if I don't finish this by the time I change my tote bag out, I'll just put it away for next season. So I really like to stitch that way. It keeps me interested and excited, and I'm always doing something new. And this is important. I did show it in another video, but I keep everything I'm looking to work on in here, or things that I have coming up. And the reason this is really important is so when I put it away and I put all the threads away, when I go to pull that out the next season or the next time I want to work on it, it's so easy to go back to my floss tower and just pull the bags I need, and in just a few minutes I'm off and stitching again. So I always have this handy in my WIP tote. So the first thing I have in here is going to be from a sew along. Now the Fat Quarter Shop is doing a sew along called Sunflower September, and we're sort of just stitching all things sunflower. Now I know that I think Kimberly Jolly is stitching maybe 10, I might be wrong on that, but I think 10 sunflower things. I can't keep up with that sort of schedule. I'm a teacher and I only have Sunday afternoons to stitch, so I'm much slower. But I do intend to do my Sunflower September next September as well. Even if they don't, this is going to be a project for me for a while. So currently the first sunflower item I have is Stitching with the Housewives calendar crates. And this one, I'm actually, let me get a good picture of it up here so you can see. Where is it? Sorry, new camera angle. So there we go. Now I'm probably not going to stitch these big sunflowers around here. I'm just going to stitch everything on the inside here. And I'm not using the called for floss, which was, I believe, Classic Colorworks. You can use DMC or Classic Colorworks. I am actually using NPI silk, but I am matching to the colors. So they will be pretty close to the called for colors. I've just always wanted to try NPI silk, and since this particular project just uses such few amount of colors, I decided this would be a great project to do it. And the other Sunflower September patterns that I chose are also from Stitching with the Housewives, and they all are sunflower things, and they all take pretty much the same colors. I think I only had to add like 1 or 2 to this stack, and so this will actually be able to stitch like several. I think I've planned 4. I can tell you right now. I think I've planned, so here you go. I have, yeah, 4. I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4 different sunflower projects in the next probably 2 Septembers. So here's my NPI, and let me show you. I actually just pulled the project off of the cross stitch, the K's Creations lap stand, table stand, just this morning. So that's how far I've come. I haven't started it since the last time I pulled it out, but it is going to be today's project. So I've just basically done the house and the chimneys, or the 2 chimneys. So, and I've got my little needle minder on here, and I am stitching this on 16 count chalkboard black by Witchelt. And most of the Stitching with the Housewives stuff that I've seen is on black, and I prefer chalkboard black. I think she uses Monaco black, which isn't available anymore, and I love the chalkboard black. So this is my first WIP there. Do I have everything in there? Yeah. And then actually my next WIP is going to be, let me see, the Harvest by Hands On Design. It's the Let's Talk, I said Harvest, it's Let's Talk Autumn. I did that last time I talked about this. I called this Harvest, and it's not. It's Let's Talk Autumn. So let's get it straight. And I did start this a while ago, so I only have the H going on it, but you can kind of see that there. Again, this is also on 16 count chalkboard black. I am pretty much primarily a 16 count Ada stitcher. And here is my DMC. I'm using the called for colors. I didn't change anything, so that's what I have in here. And there's my needle minder, Black Cat. In my chickens bag here. This one is, what is this? Oh, this one I actually got last fall. This is a Lori Holt pattern. And let me make sure I'm not showing the pattern here. And this one is, let me open it up for you, sorry. I have the pattern exposed and that's a no-no. This one is Pumpkins for Sale. I got it last fall and I never got a chance to start on it, so I pulled it out for this fall. Super cute pattern, right? And I have this cute little needle minder. I think this is made by Flamingo Toes. Makes really cute needle minders. And I am actually using part of DMC and then a few of the Weeks Dye Works for this. This one has a lot of colors and mostly it's DMC that I'm using. The called for colors were DMC or Weeks Dye Works, and so I'm sort of combining the both of those. I don't really use variegated for a whole lot of things. I pretty much like variegation in my cross stitch if I am going to be using it for plants or for animals or maybe the occasional piece of clothing. So I've got it for the overalls, and I think I have another one for the wood sign. That's Weeks Dye Works. And all the rest of this is going to be DMC. I considered doing Weeks for the pumpkins too, but I chose not to. So Weeks is a little bit more expensive, and I'm just going to use it for the overalls and the sign. And maybe for the birds, because I do have these colors in another project. So we'll see. But pretty much that's what's going on there. And I am going to be using 16 count lamb's wool in by Witcholt. And I think this is an 18 by 25 inch piece, but it won't take this whole piece. It'll be a pretty good size pattern though. And then I also have these really fun Fat Quarter Shop floss bitties that I might put this on for this project. Mostly I just keep them on their regular floss drops that I have, but I do have several of these really fun seasonal ones that I can use for these fun projects. Get everything back in. Okay. Next, I have a Christmas sew-along. I probably won't be starting this quite yet. This is just going to stay in the bag for my holiday stitching, but it's in there, so let's see. This one takes a lot of colors. This is all DMC in here, and I don't really have a full pattern that I can show you, which is unfortunate, so I apologize. But this particular one was a free stitch-along last year. It's by Pine Needles Designs. And they're going to be doing a free stitch along she's going to be giving out this October. You can now buy this as a pattern, the full pattern. It was done last Christmas, where every day of December she released a new part of the pattern. And like I said, you can actually purchase this from Pine Needles Designs or wherever you buy your patterns. I can't remember the name of it though. Wish I could, if I can find it. Christmas boxes stitch along, it looks like. So it's really cute. I can't wait to finish it, so I'm going to be working more on it. And this is on, I don't know if this was a 14 count or not. It looks like it might be. I think I did this on, it's on Witcholt Antique Blue maybe. I can't remember the name of this fabric. I wished I'd have written it down. This was before I started using my cross stitch journal. And this is a perfect example of why I now use a cross stitch journal, because I can't remember exactly the name of the pattern and I can't remember exactly what I used, so that's unfortunate. But they're super cute. So she's going to be doing an October stitch along. It's going to be free. So Pine Needles Designs, I would recommend it. They're really cute patterns. I can't wait for it to start. So this one will stay in here when I rotate again, because this will be as seasonal Christmas stitching. I actually never took that out last year. It's been in there since last December. So this one goes with, oh, okay. This one goes with this one, but let me pull the pattern out, because again, I can't show the pattern. That's not cool. Okay. So I'm working right now on the Autumn Barnyard Stack, and this is by Cherry Hill Stitchery. Super cute pattern. She's got them for all the 4 seasons. And this one is a combination of Classic Colorworks, Weeks Dyes, and the Weeks Dye Works and DMC. And I am using all the called for colors in this one, believe it or not. So these are all the colors. Always got to show the fun project bag, because this one's super cute, right? Absolutely adorable. Had to show that. And the project is actually on a Q-snap. And I do change out my Q-snaps when I pull out a new project, so I'll take this one off the Q-snap and put it back in its project bag, and then put my next project on here. And I do not find that to be problematic at all. It's totally fine. I don't have a problem with it. So here's how I got so far. And you can see the variegation here in the wool coat there. And that's a perfect example of why I like to use the variegated threads when I'm doing animals. Animals, plants, like I said, sometimes clothing, and rooftops. If I'm doing houses, I like the variegation in the rooftops. I think it makes wood look more realistic. But I got part of the cow started here, and I actually did something wrong here in the head. So the head should be up a little more, and I've tried to kind of decide whether I want to frog all the entire head and start again. This actually is not DMC as I'm looking at this, and I'm remembering I did trade out the DMC for Cosmo, so I'm not using all the called for floss, but I am using all the called for colors. So I think I should just take out the cow head and just stitch it correctly. You can be off 1 row, and that's what happens. And then there's my cute little needle minder on there, my little cat. And whatever I have on a Q-snap, I do keep in these bags. Keeps the cat hair off, and just anything from just messing up my project. When they come off the Q-snap, I'll put them in the project bags. Okay. What else have I got here? Oh, this is one that's going to get started pretty soon. This one is the Stitch University that's going on. It started 2 Mondays ago with a Fat Quarter Shop, and it's for beginner cross stitchers. It's also pretty good for people who are already cross stitching, because it's fun to stitch along, first of all. And second of all, you might learn some things that you didn't know, especially if you were just like self-taught. So I do have the small Q-snap ready. The first 2 videos have just been talking about supplies and preparing your fabric. So I think that next Monday coming up, which is tomorrow for right now, we're going to be actually putting the fabric on our Q-snap and hopefully starting to stitch. This is the needle minder that goes with the materials, and you never have to buy the materials. One thing I like about the Fat Quarter Shop sew-alongs is that they always have fun things to buy if you want to buy the things that match and go with it all, but they're really good about saying, hey, just use what you have, use from your stash. So they cater to both sides, the people that always want to have the fun little things that go with it, and also the people that just want to use what you've already got. So this is a free stitch along. So I'm not worried about showing the pattern on here. You can see the pattern is nice and big, and it is in color. So you can go ahead and download this from their website, and you can join along. And they are using DMC for here. And I actually traded out the DMC for Cosmo. My mother is also stitching this. She is a first-time stitcher, and she is using the called for DMC. So I can't wait to get this started. And they are going to be using lamb's wool, 14-count lamb's wool for that. And I am going to be using 16-count ivory by Witchelt. Actually, this came from, was it Fat Quarter Shop? I can't remember where that one came from, where I got that piece. It might have come in a kit of some kind. I typically don't use the 14-count. That actually looks like 16-count to me. So I can't wait to get this started. But I'm waiting to stitch along, so that way I can keep my mother up to wherever I'm at as well. So this one will be starting pretty soon. Ooh, running out of space over here. Let's see, what is in my chickens bag? This is a really cute bag. Look how cute those chickens are. I do kind of have a chicken thing, so. Oh, I haven't started this one either. This one I may not get to this rotation, but here is another farm animal one. This was a cow with all the chickens. I like chickens, so I thought it was super cute. There's a rooster there, but that they're all roosting around on the cow. And this is one of those ones that probably, if I don't start at this rotation, I'll leave it in here. I probably won't get to it through the Christmas season, but this one will stay in here a little while because I really want to kind of work on that. Chickens. And I am stitching this on, this is 16 count Cosmo, and it's their ivory. Love the Cosmo. My barnyard stack I showed earlier was on Cosmo, and Cosmo floss is really, excuse me, well, Cosmo floss is really good too, but I really like the Cosmo fabric. And I think they're just calling this ivory. I can't read that, so I'm not sure, but when I ordered it, it just said ivory. And I got this from the Fat Quarter Shop, but it's really nice stuff. I think this is another one that is going to live in here for a little while. This is going to be, yeah, this is going to be a long-term stitch. So I usually don't do large stitches. Mine are all pretty small. But I want to do the Farmhouse Christmas, and this is by Little House Needleworks. And I have the whole set. There's like, I don't know, like maybe 9 of them in here. And they're just a bunch of different patterns that all kind of go together. And you can stitch it on one big piece, like a sampler almost, or you can stitch them individually. I haven't decided which way I'm going yet, if I'm going to do them individually or if I'm going to do them as one big piece, so I haven't really started it. But this is going to be one of those things that's just going to live in the back of my tote, and I will just work on it as I feel like it. It won't really rotate out because it's a pretty good sized piece. I also haven't decided whether I want to stitch it on Beautiful Beige or whether I want to stitch it on Lamb's Wool. So the jury's still out on that. You could see the different colors. It's probably going to end up being Lamb's Wool, but we'll see. If I stitch it on one as all in one, the 18 by 25 will fit, but I think I'll probably need 2 of these if I'm going to stitch them individually. So I haven't started that one yet. I actually just recently got those, so that's fairly new. Okay, this one I've actually stitched once before. This is the second time around for me. And it is Fa La La. And it is by Bent Creek. It's just a little, I don't know if it's a llama. I think it's a llama. My mom says maybe an alpaca, but because it says Fa La La, I'm thinking it's a llama. And like I said, I actually did stitch it once. And I'm stitching it twice now. And this was stitched with DMC. Super cute. But I want to give one away and do one for myself. So this one is DMC, and I'm stitching the next one that I'm starting. There's plenty of room here, so I started it again. And I'm doing this one in Cosmo. So I thought it'd be interesting to stitch the same project and then see how it looks different. And this one I was stitching in hand, which I'm not really as good at, so I'm probably going to go back to my Q-snap. My stitches aren't quite as nice when I stitch in hand. But it is a little faster. But I'm not into this for speed, I'm into this for the pleasure of it. So this one I also started. This is also by Bent Creek, and it is the Cat-O-Lantern. Super cute, right? And this one I am stitching with DMC and some of the Weeks Dye Works, so I did sort of mix that up. And it's on, I know that this fabric color is called Rustic. And I think this is 14 count. I just happen to have this, so. And I got the ears done so far. And this one's going to be for a gift, and then I'm going to stitch it again for myself, and I will probably use 16 count for myself. When I first started out, I was using 14 count, so I'm just trying to use up what 14 count I have. But as long as my eyes are still good enough, I prefer the 16. I haven't tried 18. It looks a bit small for me. I don't think my eyes can see that. And this is an actually empty project bag, so nothing in there. So let me go ahead and put these back. Just throw them in there. I'll put them in nice later for sake of time. Get these out of the way. And I will show you what I just recently got and what I'm going to be adding to my stitch bag. So I have a Christmas item that I'm going to probably be starting pretty soon. It's not very big. I found this pattern here. It's just a little guy. And it's the quilt shop from the Hometown Holiday series by Little House Needleworks. And I am going to stitch this and give this to the owner of my local quilt shop. She's such a nice gal. She is also my long armor. She does an excellent job. She does extras, which I think is really nice. She always squares up my quilts for me when she returns them to me. She knows that I pretty much don't have space for that. I would literally have to try to square it up on my bed, which is not ideal. And she just squares them up and gives them to me that way. And I've told her before, you know, oh, I don't expect, you know, extras or whatnot. And she's like, hey, I have no problem doing that for you. I know what your situation is. You're in a teeny tiny apartment. You're a teacher. You're doing what you can. Let me do what I can. So I so appreciate that. And I am going to stitch this little quilt shop for her for Christmas. And she can put it in her shop if she likes, or take it home, whatever she wants to do. So I'm going to be adding that to this. I'm probably going to be using Icelandic beige, which is a really pretty color. I have it on order. I don't think I have it anymore here. I think I used it all. And it's really easy, just to show you. I pulled this here right off of my Flosstube, or my floss tower, my DMC floss tower. And I can just look on the back and see what they're calling for, pull the right bin. I just wanted to show you how easy it is just to be able to flip through and find what I need, pull it out, throw it in the bag, and ready to go. So if you're organized, it is so easy to pull your floss in and out. Same thing when I put it away. When I'm done, I just open them up, put them in, and ready to go. So that's why it's not really much of a problem for me to be stitching multiple things at once, because dealing with the floss back and forth is so easy. And that's going to go in there. Oh, I also wanted to show this new needle minder I just got. I got it in my Stitch Quarterly, which is a subscription from Fat Quarter Shop, and I think this is so adorable. Can't wait to use it for some of my fall stitching. So that's pretty much what I have. I did get 2 new patterns. I am not going to be using this year. They are going to go into next year's fall rotation. So this one's by Bent Creek as well, and it's called Uber Turkey. And I haven't decided yet when I stitch it if I'm going to stitch the words or just the turkey. So I'll decide that later, but this is really cute. So I have that for, like I said, that's going to go in next year's rotation. And this is also by Bent Creek. It's called the Thankful Owls. It's a really small stitch. And look at, isn't that so cute? The little owls on the fork. So I was able to find these, and I really thought they were super cute. So they're going to be for another year. And I might as well show this while I have it as well. This is how I keep my patterns. Like pretty much most of my patterns are just in this little thingamajigger here, this little bucket, and I can just flip through. I like it this way because I can always sort of see what I have, so I'm not overbuying. And I think it looks really cute on my little shelf here next to my craft area. And they're just kind of all in there. I can pull them and put them back. As you can see, I think I have a lot, but according to what some people have, maybe it's not. And in the very back, I have this little container which just has extra needles and just different little doodads I might need, and it just fits right in the back. And I have this exact same bucket with all of my quilting patterns too, so it comes out really nice and it kind of looks cute. So that's pretty much my WIP tote. I haven't really done one of these before, so hopefully that was what the requester was looking for. And maybe if you guys want, I will show all my progress at the end of the season and show you what I'm putting in my new WIP tote. So we'll see you next time.